Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's your boy Isaac,
And this is your boy Bryce.
and we are brothers on tennis. And folks, we are just a couple steps closer to Roland Garros 2023. Bryce, I know that there is just a lot of stories out there going into this particular major, but we just finished up the Italian, and man, talk about some interesting results. What were your thoughts?
And we'll talk about the details, but of course, I was very, very excited on the men's side. And then on the women's side, I was just confused. So we need to go ahead and dig through these and figure out what's going on.
Right? Because I'm like you. I honestly, even on the men's side, I was very much confused. I think, yeah, I'm confused. Yeah. So, which side would you like to start with, my friend? Would you like to start with the ladies or the men?
Let's start with the ladies.
All right, let's get into it. So, I think we typically go from like maybe the quarters on, right? So,
Right.
Looking at the quarterfinalists, I mean, honestly, that's where all the confusion began. Well, no, it began well before that, but still,
Right.
there are a lot of names in these quarterfinals that I particularly just didn't expect, in particular at the bottom half of the draw. Now, the top half seemed to go pretty much to form. So we had
Right.
Iga versus Rybakina. So those were the two seeds. We would expect to see them.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, Bryce, we had Badosa and Ostapenko. Talk to me about those two and their road.
Well, and I'm going to start there at the bottom with Ostapenko because, sometimes we have to remind ourselves that, crazy Ostapenko has won a French Open.
Yes, she has, Bryce. Yes, she has.
She's the French Open champion. So we shouldn't be surprised that she can do some stuff on the dirt. I really thought she was going to lose to Krejcikova.
Agree.
Battle of two French Open champions. And I'm thinking, Krejcikova is going to be a little more steady. But we also know that Ostapenko is a little more crazy and a little more offensive.
Yes.
And so when you have that, anything can happen, and including Krejcikova getting fed a bagel on clay.
Right? Who would have called that? I mean, seriously.
Right.
Who would have thought that Ostapenko could bagel a Krejcikova? I was shocked. I have to tell you.
And then she wasn't done. She told Kasatkina, I got some for you too.
I got some for you too, sis.
I got bagels on the ready. On the ready.
On the ready, Bryce. Yes, sir.
Man. So that's how Ostapenko, got to the quarters. Now, Badosa, I was a little surprised, a little bit, that she took out Jabeur. I still don't think Jabeur is 100% back yet.
I agree completely.
So she did take advantage of that. I thought, that was good. And honestly, she had a good section of the draw. She had decent players in there, but players that she should have beaten, and she did. So
that's right. Right. Completely agree with you, Bryce. I mean, yeah, I thought the Muhova match was good because, of course, I'm a fan of Muhova, so I enjoyed that matchup. But yeah, Badosa was, again, a little bit too strong for her. But yeah, really nice to see her make it to yet another quarterfinal. So we've got that on the top half, and I mean, again, we'll talk about Iga and Rybakina. They did what they needed to do, but man, as we scroll down to this bottom, I just need your help understanding because while I love my girl Cooter,
right?
Would I have called her a quarterfinalist? No.
Mm-mm.
But again, like you said, I feel like she got into a good part of the draw.
She did.
Yeah. Talk to us about that, Bryce.
Well, yeah, the big miss here was Coco Gauff.
Correct.
French Open finalist last year. You expect for her to go deep. And, she takes a 3-set L, with two whole biscuits going out the back door.
Right.
To Bouzkova. And that's a match that you expect for her to win. I personally didn't see that match, but in my mind,
Mhm.
I'm assuming the golf forehand let her down again.
Right, right. And she had such a good, starting point to be able to beat a Putin Seva, beat her, again, give her a bagel and give her a breadstick. I mean,
Yep.
that to me, I was like, all right, Coco, all right, she got some confidence here. And she started out well, but then Buskova just started just kind of getting her way back in there, picking on that forehand. And again, that's kind of pretty much what happened the forehand didn't come through as it needed to. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then two whole biscuits later, she was in the fourth round or whatever round that is. Yeah, fourth round.
Right.
Yeah.
So of course that set up the unevenness in the top part of the bottom half of the draw. And then on the bottom half, now this is the one you got to help me out on. Now, Sabalenka has been like literally the hottest player on the women's tour for the last couple of months with Iga, of course,
Yes,
right?
correct.
And I expected her to wipe the floor with Kenin.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's a couple of things. I
Okay.
think Kenin is she's kind of finding a little bit of her previous form. I do believe that she's not able to produce it consistently as we've
Mm-hmm.
seen, but she's getting there. She shows glimpses of it and what have you. I think that came into effect, and honestly, I just honestly think that Sabalenka was a little bit tired. I feel like
Probably.
with everything that's gone on, with the victory that she just got over in Madrid, I just think mentally she was. I honestly, personally, Bryce, being a fan of hers, I was actually happy to see that she lost because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like she needs some time to just kind of enjoy all the success that she had during this clay court season and in 2023 in general, and get her mind right in order to really go in there and wreck some shop at the French Open. Because I tell you what, Bryce, she is most definitely one of, again, my top two contenders for the French Open title.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So for me, I thought this was actually an okay thing. No one wants to lose, of course, but I think I was okay with it, and hopefully she and her camp is okay with it because again, Kenin didn't play a bad match. She played some of that old school Sophia Kenin tennis. So again, and we saw the inconsistency because again, then she went out to Kalinina in the next round,
Right.
rather meekly, by the way.
Right. Right. Um, so it made, like you're saying, it made the overall draw very interesting. But even at the point that Sabalenka lost, in
Right.
my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Iga about to run through these ladies like a batch of bad gravy, right?
Right.
And I guess she probably still would have had
Yeah.
she not gotten injured in the Rybakina match.
Correct. And that's another one, Bryce, we've got to mention and or keep our eye on. Because, we don't think of Elena Rybakina as a clay court player,
Nope.
but when you are a play and I know we'll talk a lot about this on the men's side, when you are playing strong tennis and you are confident, you are able to get results that not even you think that you can. And
Right.
I think that that's the case with Rybakina. She is simply someone who has won a lot of matches in 2023. So regardless of the surface, she gonna figure something out. And that's exactly what she did. Because in truth, Iga should have taken that in straight sets, but Rybakina was just scrapping in that second set, and she didn't
Mm-hmm.
let her have it. And then she got injured, and it was like, now what? And you could see based on that injury, Rybakina was like, I'm definitely not stepping off the pedal. And Iga was like, Yo, I got too much, going for me at this French Open. I ain't trying to. I need to let this go. And so I
Right.
thought it was smart on her part to just pull the ripcord and be like, Yo, I'm out. Because at that point, again, you don't know if you're hurting yourself even more because you haven't gotten it analyzed. So I just felt like it was right on both sides of the coin right there, Bryce.
Right. And when that happened, at that point, I was pretty confident that Rybakina was taking the title, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, Ostapenko, she could match her with firepower easily.
Correct. And
and
she's more
have more
consistent.
consistent. Right? Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then, you know, good players on the bottom half, but whether it's Cooter or Kalinina in the finals of 1,000, I'm taking Rybakina every time.
Every time. And
On
just a
every
quick,
surface.
exactly, on every surface. Wouldn't even matter with those two. Exactly. It would be Rybakina. And, there was, of course, spiciness in that semi because, of course, Cooter is from Russia and
Mm-hmm.
Kalinina is from Ukraine. So no handshake at the end of that, which we're always kind of sorry to see. But, good on
Right.
Kalinina, though, for fighting through. She had a really, really, really tough battle and tough matches getting to that final. So we want to give her a shout out because she did the dang thing, and to be, get in there and just basically, she just ran out of juice, and
Right.
she was just like, I got to call it, y'all. I can't. I just can't.
Right.
Oh man, but no, good results for her, man. Good results for her, and like I said, shout out to Rybakina for throwing her name in the hat as a potential contender at the French Open. I mean, I expect her to win? No, but I do expect to see her in the second week.
Oh yeah, I think she'll go deep, and especially depending upon her draw, because that is one thing about the women's draw to me these days versus the men's draw. And in women's draws, you can find a pocket
Right, right.
depending upon how players fall. And we saw that in a couple of places in this Italian Open draw. And
Hmm.
if you find yourself a nice little pocket, you can make a deep run.
That's right. Absolutely agree, man. Absolutely agree. So
But
yeah.
before we get off of the women, completely, were you not surprised on the doubles side
Oh,
that
come
Goff and
on.
Pagula didn't walk away with that title, facing Storm Hunter and Elise Mertens in the
Yeah,
finals? I mean,
yeah.
Elise Mertens, where's she been? I thought she was on that boat with Crystal Waters and Terrence Trent D'Arby. I mean, I hadn't seen her name in a minute.
Yeah. It's been a while. I think she got injured. She's trying to make a little bit of a comeback. She's finding or playing with different doubles partners. Because remember, she was, I don't know if she got to number one, but she got pretty darn close when she was actually playing with Sabalenka
I
back in
thought
the
she had
day.
gotten to number one.
Yeah. So so Merton's got them skills. She got them double skills that she can go to. But again, Storm Hunter, that's a new name. That again, young person from, I believe she's from
Australia.
Australia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, I would not have picked them over the recent form that we've seen from both Pagula and Golf. So seeing a 6-4-6-4. And once again, man, I just need them to, they got to close that door when these opportunities are here. You
Right.
won't see Krejcikova and Sinyakova losing a match like
No,
this. I
no,
tell you
you
that
sure
much.
won't. And to be fair, Isaac, they have been handling.
Yes,
This
yes,
is we haven't seen many bad losses from them as a team.
that is true. That's very true.
So
Yeah.
they'll have a off match or week here or there. So hey, they still made it to the finals. They got good
Hmm.
points. And as long as, like you said, Krejcikova and Siniakova are out, they're the favorites.
Yeah, and you would think that they'd be the favorites going into Roland Garros. So, you know,
Do you know the latest on Siniakova? I
I
mean,
don't. I haven't heard if she's well and or back on the courts playing or not. So, but even with that, Bryce, I mean, you know how it is when you're coming back from injury and they haven't played,
right.
so there's also that rhythm that they'd have to kind of get back into as well. And I just, to do that at a Grand Slam, I just feel like they might be susceptible to an upset, to be honest with you. But we'll
Right.
see. We will see.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Let's say you're Krajcikova, but you keep your mouth closed, and French Open Roland Garros comes around,
Yes.
and Siniakova can't play. Are you not playing doubles, or are you playing doubles with somebody? Because you talking about somebody who could get a partner pretty easily.
Right, right. And you know what? I guess for me, I guess being a fan of hers, I would not want to see her in the doubles. I would want to see her trying to get her singles game right so that she could win a second French Open. Because
Mm-hmm.
again, I feel like she has proven that she is a nemesis to Iga Swiatek. And that in itself just holds a lot of weight, in my opinion. So I would personally, I would probably, if I were advising her, I would say focus in on your singles and let's get after another second Grand Slam title so that you can legitimately be a part of the International Tennis Hall of Fame.
Right, exactly. Thank you. I like that. Legitimately.
So, what about you, Bryce? What would your consult be to her if you were to be able to get in her ear?
Yeah, I would say, especially since she's not in a situation where she needs the doubles money. I mean, her bank account should be nice because she got that Grand Slam money in there.
That's right.
Um, since it's not a financial decision, I would take the break because, number one, saves on your body. Number two, like you said, allows her to focus on getting the singles right. But also, number three, she's so associated with her partner.
Right.
Right. Those results aren't going to really help her any. It's not going to help her make the year in championships,
Right. Correct.
or anything like that. So, you got to be smart about when you can conserve, some energy on your body and wear and tear there. So I'm with you on that one.
Right on, man. Right on. Very cool. Well, that was the
Uh,
ladies. Again, had a very, very interesting Italian championships. But man, Bryce, the men's side, pretty crazy as well, man.
it was. And you know what? The tournament got real good to me when well, I'm not going to jump there. So you want to start the quarterfinals?
Well, yeah, and I mean, just some interesting, I mean, again, kind of similar to what we said in the women's draw. On the top of the men's draw, we got who we expected. We got the 1 versus the 7 in
Mm-hmm.
Djokovic and Rune.
Yep.
So that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Casper did his thing and got to the quarters and lived up to his seeding. But
Yep.
what about Cerundolo upsetting Sinner?
But you know what? This just is almost not. It's a surprise that Sinner lost, but it's not a surprise that Cerundolo won. If that makes any
Right.
sense.
It does.
Because Cerundolo has been playing. If you've been paying attention, he's been balling out
Yes,
actually
sir. Yes,
the
sir.
last couple of months. So him playing well is not a surprise. Center, you're thinking he's in his home country. Um, I don't know if there was pressure there or if you just got beat. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a lot with these people giving out whole biscuits out the back door.
Out the back door, friend. What?
Yeah, so I mean that's an upset any way you look at it, but if you were gonna call an upset, that was a potential one.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you there. I think that, it may have been one of those things where, again, you've got a really deep clay quarter in Cerundolo and you've got a center who is expected to win in his home country. You got pressure there, and this is not his favorite service, of course. So I agree with you. I think that if it's a surprise, but not a surprise.
Right.
Yeah. And then Bryce, as we go down to the bottom now, okay.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, we must give a humongous shout out to Yannick Hoffman because,
Yes.
man, I mean, this is a kid who went to college out here in the States, kind of a journeyman in the sense that, he's, I think, close to 30, hasn't had too many significant results, but boy, did he have a tournament. First and foremost, he was like, Taylor Fritz, ain't nobody scared of you.
I know Americans.
I know Americans. I was brought up in the collegiate system of the Americans. I got you. Gave him that breadstick, Bryce. Bread.
Bread, man.
Woo, come on now. And mind you, yes, he beat Cecchinato. He beat Nicholas Jari, who's been hot of late. He's coming back, the Argentinian. But
Mm-hmm.
man, how about him taking out our boy Rublev?
Look, I'm not used to seeing anybody that was playing like those pandemic tournaments in folks' backyards. I'm not used to seeing them beating big names.
Right.
And when he took out Rublev, it was like, okay, that's a
Okay.
good win for you, son.
Right. Come on, man. So you got to shout out to Hoffman for doing his thing in this tournament. I think it gets him well into the top 100, if not even in the top 50. So he's definitely going to reap a lot of benefits from this result. So good on you, sir.
Right. And then, Medvedev's there. We'll come back
There
and
you
talk
go.
about him a little later. Um, Tsitsipas got there like he was supposed to.
That's right.
And
That's right.
then Linnell's guy, Church,
That's right.
showed up. But that wasn't where the story was.
That wasn't where the story was, Bryce. I think you need to back it up. Back it up.
Because
what?
Why is Alcaraz losing to somebody I'd never heard of before?
I need you to explain that one to me, because that's where I was like, who is
you
this
might
guy?
as well look down and saw K. Bryce Everett beat Carlos Alcaraz. I mean, right?
Right?
I
Dude,
just
shocking. He brought it to him though. I think here's one of the things, Bryce. Yes, Carlitos is number one in the world. He's got all this fanfare. Everybody loves him now. They're he's the next part of the big three. Blah blah blah. I think that the young man came into that match with a great perspective, because he was like, you know what? This guy is just 20 years old. I ain't much younger or older than him. You know what? This is my peer. I ain't anybody trying to be scared of him. And I'm gonna just go in here and I'm just gonna play, lights out tennis, and we're gonna see what happens. And there you go. I mean, it was a very interesting match. Was Carlos Alcaraz on his A game? No, he was not. But at the same time, he was oh boy was bringing it to him, and he just unfortunately could not find the answers. Because again, he got him into that second set tiebreak, and you win the tiebreak, hey, things can definitely go a lot different in that third set. But yeah, young boy was like, "Nah, sir, we're not even gonna try and get to this third set. We gonna be done with this quick."
Well, and I got a hot take for you.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, please, listeners, don't take this the wrong way. But Alcaraz always wants to win. Yes. But kind of like what you said about Sabalenka, right? Carlos has already shown he's in form.
Yep.
On clay. He can win the big stuff this season. At this point of the tournament, it had already come out that he had secured number one again, which was going to make him the top seed at Roland Garros, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that he was necessarily brokenhearted,
right,
about the loss because of the rest he could get.
Yes.
Going into Roland Garros.
Yes.
Listeners, once again, I'm not saying or implying that he lost intentionally. All I'm saying is I think a little sting was taken out of that loss.
Mm-hmm.
By him now knowing he was going to be top seed, and he had already proven in the previous tournaments that he was good to go.
Exactly.
And I guarantee you, if by some way the tennis gods puts this, I don't even know what the dude's name is,
yeah, I can't. Mark-San. That's why I haven't tried it.
if there is by any chance he is in the path of Alcaraz at Roland Garros,
oh my,
the bakery will be wide open with the red hot sign up. You know what I'm saying? You remember the donut shop when that sign was red and it was lit up? It was like lit the donuts was hot
and fresh. Yes. Yes, sir.
That's going to be the situation there at Roland Garros.
I 100% agree, Bryce. And honestly, I'll echo what I said about Sabalenka as well. I actually think this is a good thing for Carlos. I think that it's good that he gets some rest, get your body right, get your mind right. You done won a lot since you've come back from injury this year. Let's get ready. You didn't get to play the Australian Open. Let's get ready and really put our cards in for the French Open. And your boy, Mr. King of Clay, is not there. So of course he's going to be wanting to represent for Spain. He wants to be he is the next. I mean, let's just call it like it is. He is the next. And he wants to get that title and keep that title in Spain because that's where it apparently belongs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm just thinking. So if he's got number one back already, with basically nothing on the Australian,
right?
Shoot, this dude's about to clown.
Dude, he been balling. Yes, I mean seriously, he is definitely going to be the number one player for a long while. I know that they'll count points for Wimbledon, but again, he has produced a lot of great results. So I know right now it's a back and forth between him and Djokovic, but I don't see that continuing as we get towards the end of the year. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think the only person that can contend with him, and this is probably a good segue, is your boy, our boy, I should say, our boy who is Mr. Hardcore Specialist, acting like he can't play on some daggone red clay and doing some things
and showing
out, friend. Come on, talk about it, Bryce.
Well, I like what he said. You know, he said they knew they had to do something different,
right,
with clay, and he changed strings. And he went to a softer string, and he was saying that he felt like he was able to get easy depth on the ball. And, you know, if you're doing that, and by the way, you're having a great season, your confidence is high, you know, even though he didn't win those previous clay court tournaments, he had big wins and he got deep.
Correct.
And so, yes, Mr. Hardcourt, Mr. Daniil Medvedev is a legitimate contender for Roland Garros this year.
And Bryce, can I just dig a little bit deeper into
sure.
the genius that is Medvedev?
Yep.
He put himself in such an awesome position because he immediately came off the hard courts talking about this ain't my surface. You know, blah, blah, blah. He set himself up to always be good because if he lost, he could always be like, this ain't my surface anyway. Yep. And if he won, he was like, hey, look what I did. I'm shocked. I mean, think about what he has done thus far. Specifically, I want you to think about what he just did to Tsitsipas. This is his surface. Yep. He is known to be the one on clay. He is the one that reached the Roland Garros final 2 sets up on Novak Djokovic. Unfortunately, didn't win, but still 2 sets up. How you gonna play a Medvedev on your favorite surface? And clearly, he has said this is not my surface at all, and get stolen in straight sets. I have a feeling that is going to sting and it will resonate for Tsitsipas at Roland Garros, Bryce.
Well, remember I told you Tsitsipas was the one I was worried about.
You said that. That's right.
And if you can't beat Medvedev on your surface on clay,
come on.
I mean, and remember, there's already major beef between the two of them.
Right. Exactly.
So, and you're not going to win the head game against Medvedev.
You're not.
No.
You just might as well stop. I mean, he is genius, Bryce. I mean, I cannot explain how awesome or how genius it was for him to put himself in that spot going into the clay court season. It's amazing.
I love Medvedev
in a no-lose situation. It was all win-win for him. All win-win.
I love Medvedev. He is so interesting for me to watch. And I'm sorry, Nick, out there. I know you don't like Medvedev, but you don't have to love Medvedev, but you have to respect what that guy does between the lines.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. To me, he's got the strongest mental game out there. To be able to conquer clay the way he has at this point, amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And let's not forget, we got turned on to what he could do on grass last year.
Exactly.
So we already know he's top 2 in the world on hard court. He's starting to clown on grass. He's won on a 1,000 level tournament now on clay.
Yep.
I mean, are we saying Medvedev is now an all-surface player?
I would say so. And honestly, Bryce, I would say at this point, having seen what I've seen, I would be surprised if Daniil Medvedev does not end his career owning all four slams.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put that out there.
Yep.
I really believe that he has the capability of winning all four majors. I really do.
And you know what? And I think the differentiator is what you just said. I think there's a lot of these kids coming up that have games. None of them, maybe Alcaraz is the closest to having the mental side.
Correct.
That Medvedev has.
Correct. I would throw Rune in there as a sub. He ain't at the skill level of Medvedev just yet. But I tell you what, I am very much impressed with Holger Rune, Bryce. I have to say, and this maybe is a little bit of a segue into that matchup that he had against Djokovic. I mean, bruh, that was a fantastic match, and for him to come out, take that first set 6-2, and then lose the second. And this is what, to me, defines a champion. You're playing one of the big three. You done lost the second set. Momentum's on Djokovic's side. And you are still able to hit the reset button and come back and give him a whole biscuit in the third?
Going out the back door.
Going out the back door, bruh. I am absolutely impressed with Holger Rune. Bruh,
that was a huge win. That was a huge win. And, you know, this kind of goes to what we've been talking about for the last couple of months. You know, people were so ready to just, okay, Federer's gone, Nadal's gone, you know, Djokovic about to run through these fools.
Right.
And it's like, it's a different day.
I have to agree. And I was one of them, Bryce, because remember, I was the one throwing out, Djokovic will get to 26. Having seen what I have seen recently, I'm almost at that point where is he going to be able to actually get another one under his belt? I'm being very serious.
I know. I'm right there with you.
Because Daniil is showing out. Rune is showing. Rune done beat him twice. So it ain't like it's a fluke. He like, I like your game.
Right.
All right. And Alcaraz is like, I'm just waiting to play you again. Just let me get my opportunity. And I'm going to be like, Holger. Bruh, I'm telling you what.
Right. And remember, my point back then was, you know, I'm not going to say that there's this one player or so that's going to always beat him. But if even in the majors, if he has to go through a couple of these guys, think about it. If he comes through a Rune and then he has to face Medvedev, or then Alcaraz after that.
Right. And let's be clear that what do you call it? That aura is beginning to get a little foggy, because again, when you lose to your countrymen, and then you end up okay, let's not forget that loss. And then you lose to a Rune. I'm sorry, people are going to start thinking that you are vulnerable, and that mystique that you have once developed is and you think even back to last year's what do you call it, the Labor Cup when Felix jumped up on him. So let's not, I have a feeling that if he doesn't course correct, that aura that he has built is going to very quickly dissipate.
And you know what? For me, the test of that is going to be Wimbledon.
Correct. I agree with you. Yep.
Because that's where he made. Yeah, that's the one where I think his game still has a bit of an edge on most of these players. Right. I mean, I would think, because even with someone who has the game like a Kyrgios, he doesn't have the mental side to me to beat a Djokovic in that kind of a setting. So if I could see him being maybe the favorite for Wimbledon, but you know what? If he doesn't win Wimbledon,
yes, sir, it might be tight. It might be tight on Novak Djokovic, because I definitely don't know that I would put him right now as being a favorite going into the U.S. Open, given again Daniil and Alcaraz, and again as a Rune, because Rune beat him on hard court as well. So
yeah, and he got other people he got to worry about.
That's true.
He struggles with Zverev on hard court. You know,
That's true. Absolutely, man.
Felix might get the feeling of Labor Cup in his back. You know, for like he want to do something.
right?
Musetti may want to step up.
That's right. And I forgot about that loss. That's right. He lost to his countryman. He lost to Musetti, and now he lost to Runa. Young kids, man. These young kids are like, ain't nobody scared of you.
Right.
Shoot.
Exactly. So like you said, so that was an upset. Now,
Yes.
Rude came through like he should have, a nice
That's
close
right.
match against Cerundolo.
That's right.
And then at the bottom, we look. Hoffman had all the kind of good tournament he wanted to.
It was ending right there.
Yes,
Yes.
Medvedev was like no, and then of course Tsitsipas made it like he was supposed to. So we've
Right.
already talked about Medvedev, stepping up on Tsitsipas. What were your thoughts about Runa over Rude? Because we had been wanting to see that matchup again as well.
Yes. I'm gonna tell you what, Bryce. Okay, again, this is my being so impressed with Holger Rune because if you looked at that first set, Rude was definitely in command. It really should not have even gone into the tiebreaker, to be honest with you. I mean, Rude was playing some outstanding tennis, and it started in going into the second set. It just felt to me like maybe he hit a wall or something. I don't know what to put my finger on, but you know the saying. I just know that at a certain point, it just looked like Casper had just started to fade. His forehand started getting more erratic. And it was really like at 2-2 in the second set. And at that point, Rune was like, man, he was like, you done messed up because I'm young. I got this good energy and I'm here. And I've proven that I can come back on folks and take matches. So he did not hesitate. He was just like, oh, you done gave me an opening. I'm about to take it. And he just started putting it on Casper, and Casper started making more errors. And honestly, that was the end of the second set and all of the third set. It's just Rune was a better player at that point.
Hobiscuit out the back door.
Out the back door, I tell you, it was a common theme this tournament, wasn't it?
It sure was. But props again to Medvedev for rising to the occasion in that final. I mean, straight sets, but it was tight, 5-5.
It was tight. Yeah, Holger again put up a fight, but again, I think Holger has that good mental, tacticianer's brain, but it's not at the level of a Daniil Medvedev. No. And I think he realized that because Daniil was just, he was just like, you're not ready for this, sir. You're not ready.
Right. Because wasn't Rune up like 5-3 in the second set?
Mm-hmm. Sure was.
And Daniil was like, okay, we about to put the lock on this right now. Because the brother don't feel like playing no third set. Ain't going to be no Hobiscuits out the back door today. Everybody walking out the front door today.
Right? Exactly. Front door. So, yeah, man. Daniil has just, I'm so impressed with him right now, Bryce. I just can't say enough about him. I just feel like he just did a very genius. I'm gonna stop there. Genius.
Yeah. So that's the fifth title for Daniil this year. He's back up to number 2. So Djokovic has dropped to number 3. Now that's going to be interesting.
Yes.
To see what side of the draw at Roland Garros Djokovic ends up on. Now, of course, I want him on Alcaraz's side.
I was going to ask you that. I was like, what side would you prefer him on?
I would want him on Alcaraz's side because, I would want him on Alcaraz's side. But let me tell you what, though. We got to look at the draw because he might not get there.
He might quietly because he may end up getting Rune in one of them quarterfinals.
Or Lajovic or Musetti.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's going to be interesting for Djokovic at this French Open. If he's able to come through this one, then that's he's going to have to expend a lot of effort to win this Roland Garros, in my opinion.
And you have to think about it. It has to be on all of the players' minds that Rafa's not there.
Absolutely.
I mean,
man,
because even if people thought, well, he may not be 100%, it's still Rafa at his house.
Correct.
And now that you know that he's not there, that somebody other than Rafa is going to win, there's a bunch of people saying, why not me?
Well, exactly. And let's think back to the day when Federer won his French Open, because that's exactly what happened. He saw somebody took it. He was like, wait a minute, Rafa not there? I was, oh, hell no. You better get out my way.
Right. I'm trying to tell you.
Man, so yeah, I agree with you, Bryce. I think there are going to be a lot of people chomping at the bit to get on those courts in Roland Garros because they see that it's opportunity time.
It is. It is.
Sure. Yeah.
So good turn. I mean, it was a little schizophrenic, but
wasn't it though?
It was a good tournament.
It was a good tournament. And Bryce, just really quick, just a quick comment about men's doubles. What the hell is going on in men's doubles?
Okay, first of all, I was looking at the men's doubles and I was like, who?
Exactly. I was like, okay, why don't I recognize any of these guys? And how in the hell Hasse and Van de Zandschulp get up in there in the final? Where is our doubles team? Where are y'all? Man, go ahead.
It might be time for them to find new partners because what BB King say? The thrill's gone,
right?
They ain't doing it no more. Everybody getting up on them now.
Everybody is just getting stolen. I mean, you got Rajiv and Salisbury getting stolen, and they made a couple rounds. But where is even our guys? Mektix and Pavic went out first round.
Yep.
To Granollers and Zabat, which I guess is not a bad loss, but still, where y'all been?
Right.
Come on now. So something is happening on the men's double side. And like you said, I feel like we need to shake the tree and figure out what needs to happen because it feels like every week we're seeing new names.
Yep. Yeah. And normally, like you might see a little variation with the teams that have players that are playing deep in the singles, right? Because that can always, play a factor. But we got the people that don't do nothing but play doubles.
Exactly, right?
Not getting the job done anymore. So,
oh man, it's just confusing me. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that mention out there because it's very confusing to me right now on the double side for the men's side.
Well, Isaac, this weekend, you and I will get together and we will do our annual Roland Garros preview show.
Yes.
And we'll have the draw in front of us and we'll have an opportunity to predict what round Djokovic goes out and, see what's happening on, the women's side. Really looking forward to recording that this weekend.
I agree with you, bro. I'm so excited about Roland Garros getting here. Of course, it's the ultimate from the clay court perspective, and I'm just looking forward to see who's going to step up and show out.
Right, and we're going to have a couple of BOT OGs over there at Roland Garros. We'll have Linnell over there, and we'll have Paul over there. So listeners, there will absolutely be a Roland Garros giveaway basket again this year. So we had a tremendous response from you all last year, and we'll be looking to do the same this year.
That's right, y'all. So get ready. We are going to bring it to you per usual.
Yes. So, well, Isaac, I think it's time for us to go ahead and jump over to IG and do our little after show there.
Perfect.
But thank you all for listening. Make sure to check out the Roland Garros preview show next weekend, and we'll be back the week after that to be held accountable to them lies we about to tell.
Say it, man. Say it.
So, on behalf of the podcast, this has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone, be safe out there.